Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the digital age. It's a magical time where your toaster knows more about your breakfast habits than your spouse. Isn't technology wonderful? Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to take a wild ride through the not-so-wonderful world of digital surveillance. You know, that thing you agreed to when you clicked I accept without reading the 50-page terms and conditions. Don't worry, we've all done it. It's like signing a contract with the devil, but instead of your soul, you're just giving away every detail of your life. No biggie, right? Now you might be thinking, but John, I have nothing to hide. Well, neither did Adam and Eve until they ate that apple. And look how that turned out. The truth is, we're all living in a giant fishbowl, and the tech companies are the creepy kids tapping on the glass. They're watching our every move, recording our conversations, and probably judging our Netflix choices. It's like having a nosy neighbor with superpowers. And the worst part, we invited them in. But fear not, dear viewers, for knowledge is power. And by the end of this journey, you'll be armed with enough knowledge to make Edward Snowden look like an amateur. Welcome to the party, pal. Social media. The place where we share our deepest thoughts, our most flattering selfies, and apparently, our entire life story with multi-billion-dollar corporations. It's like having a friend who remembers everything you've ever said or done, except this friend sells your secrets to advertisers. Fun times.
Let's start with Facebook, the granddaddy of all social media stalkers. Remember when you posted that embarrassing photo from your cousin's wedding in 2010? Well, Facebook remembers. In fact, it probably knows more about your family drama than you do. But Facebook isn't content with just knowing what you do on its platform. Oh no, it wants to know everything you do everywhere. Thanks to those handy like and share buttons plastered across the internet, Facebook can track your activity on millions of websites. Looked up a weird rash on WebMD? Facebook knows. Bought questionable fashion choices on Amazon? Facebook knows. It's like having a clingy ex who just won't let go. Except this ex has a market cap larger than the GDP of most countries. And let's not forget Instagram, Facebook's cooler, younger sibling. You might think it's just for sharing photos of your avocado toast and blessed moments, but it's actually a goldmine of personal data. Every photo you upload is analyzed for content, location, and even the people in it. That innocent hashtag Throwback Thursday post? It's helping Instagram build a timeline of your entire life. And those cute filters? They're mapping your face for facial recognition algorithms. So the next time you use the dog ear filter, remember you're essentially giving Instagram a detailed 3D model of your face. Who needs privacy when you can have cute selfies, right?
Now let's talk about the devices you use to access all these wonderful privacy-invading social media platforms. Your PCs and smartphones. These innocent-looking gadgets are like having a tiny NSA agent in your pocket. Except instead of a cool suit and sunglasses, they're disguised as sleek aluminum and glass.
Your smartphone, that thing you cradle lovingly and take to bed with you every night, is probably the most effective surveillance device ever created. And you paid for it. Congratulations, you're now a willing participant in your own surveillance. Let's start with location tracking. Your phone knows where you are at all times, even if you turn off GPS. Through a combination of cell tower triangulation and Wi-Fi networks, your phone can pinpoint your location with scary accuracy. Ever wonder how Google knows there's traffic on your usual route home? It's because it's tracking the movement of every Android phone on that road. It's like having a stalker who's really concerned about your commute time. And don't think you're off the hook if you're an iPhone user. Apple might talk a big game about privacy, but they're still collecting your location data. They're just nicer about it. But location is just the tip of the iceberg. Your phone is also listening to you. No, I'm not talking about when you're on a call, I'm talking about all the time. But John, you might say, I never gave it permission to do that. Oh, sweet summer child. Remember when you enabled Siri or Google Assistant? You basically gave it an all-access pass to your microphone. Sure, they claim they only listen for wake words, but can we really trust the companies that are already tracking our every move? It's like hiring a burglar as your house sitter and being surprised when your valuables go missing.
Section 4. IoT devices. When your toaster turns traitor. Welcome to the wonderful world of IoT, or the Internet of Things. It's like the regular internet, but instead of connecting people, it connects, well, things. Your fridge, your thermostat, your light bulbs. Basically, if it has a plug or a battery, someone's probably figured out how to connect it to the internet. Because apparently, we all desperately needed to tweet from our toasters. It's the tech equivalent of putting wheels on everything. Sure, you can, but should you?
Now you might be thinking, but John, How can my smart toaster possibly spy on me? It's just making my bread crispy. Oh, you sweet, naive carb lover. Your smart toaster knows what time you wake up, how often you eat toast, and probably judges you for your 3 a.m. burnt bagel habits. But it doesn't stop there. That innocent-looking smart speaker in your living room, it's basically a wiretap that you voluntarily installed. It's listening to your conversations, your arguments, and your off-key singing in the shower.
And let's not even get started on smart TVs. They're not just showing you content, they're watching what you watch, how long you watch it, and probably judging your binge-watching habits. But the real MVPs of the IoT spying game are smart home devices. Your smart thermostat knows when you're home, when you're away, and can probably deduce your daily routine with scary accuracy.
Your smart doorbell is basically a private security camera for whoever manufactured it. And don't even get me started on smart vacuums. They're not just cleaning your floors, they're mapping your entire house. It's like giving a burglar a detailed floor plan of your home, except the burglar is a multinational corporation. Sleep tight!
Section 5. Big Data. Big Problems. The Corporate Goldmine. Now that we've covered how every gadget in your life is secretly moonlighting as a spy, let's talk about what happens to all that juicy data. Enter the world of big data. It's like regular data, but with a gym membership and a protein shake addiction. Companies aren't collecting all this information just for fun, although I'm sure some tech bros get a kick out of it. No, they're doing it because data is the new oil, except it's easier to extract and doesn't require invading Middle Eastern countries. At least, not physically. So what exactly are these companies doing with all your data? Well, imagine a giant digital jigsaw puzzle, where each piece is a tiny detail about your life, your Amazon purchase history, your Spotify playlists, your Google searches. They're all pieces of the puzzle. And when companies put these pieces together, they get a scarily accurate picture of who you are. They know your likes, your dislikes, your hopes, your fears, and probably what you're going to have for dinner next Tuesday. It's like having a psychic, except instead of a crystal ball, they're using algorithms and a disturbing amount of your personal information. But why go through all this trouble? Money, of course. The more companies know about you, the better they can target you with ads. And let me tell you, targeted advertising is big business. Ever wonder why you see ads for cat food right after Googling, "Why does my cat keep staring at me?" That's not a coincidence. That's big data at work. It's like having a really attentive salesperson who follows you around everywhere, except instead of being annoying in person, they're annoying you digitally. Progress. Section 6. Government Surveillance. Big Brother's watching. Now, if you thought corporate surveillance was bad, buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to enter the murky world of government surveillance. It's like George Orwell's 1984, but with better special effects and more memes. Remember Edward Snowden? The guy who blew the whistle on the NSA's mass surveillance programs and then had to flee to Russia because apparently that was safer than staying in the land of the free? Yeah, turns out Big Brother isn't just watching you. He's got a whole IMAX theater dedicated to your life.
Let's start with the basics. Your phone calls, your emails, your text messages, they're all fair game. The government can collect this data in bulk, store it, and analyze it whenever they want. It's like having a really nosy neighbor, except this neighbor has a multi-billion-dollar budget and can throw you in jail. But don't worry, they're only looking for terrorists and criminals. And if you believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you. In Brooklyn. It's a nice bridge. You'll love it.
But it's not just your communications they're after. Thanks to partnerships with tech companies, willing or unwilling, the government potentially has access to all that juicy data we talked about earlier. Your social media posts, your search history, your location data, it's all up for grabs. It's like they're playing a twisted version of The Sims, except the sim is you, and the player is a shadowy government agency. Fun times.
And let's not forget about good old-fashioned surveillance cameras.
Section 7. The Dark Side of Convenience. Trading privacy for features. Alright, folks, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say, the convenient, user-friendly, oh-so-helpful elephant in the room. We've spent all this time talking about how we're being spied on, but here's the kicker, we're letting it happen. Heck, we're practically begging for it. Why? Because it's just so darn convenient. It's like we're in an abusive relationship with technology, and the safe word is privacy, but we keep forgetting to use it.
Let's start with our good friend, the smartphone. Remember when phones were just for calling people? No? Well, ask your parents, kids. Now, our phones can do everything short of making us breakfast in bed, and I'm sure there's an app for that in development. But each new feature comes with a privacy cost. Want your phone to give you directions? Well, you'll need to let it track your location. Want to use voice commands? You'll have to let it listen to you all the time. It's like making a deal with a very persistent, very tech-savvy devil.
And then there's the wonderful world of smart home devices. Sure, it's cool to be able to turn off your lights with a voice command, or have your thermostat automatically adjust to your preferences, but at what cost? Your smart home knows when you're home, when you're away, what room you're in, and probably judges you for binge-watching Netflix until 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. It's like having a really judgmental roommate who never sleeps, and reports back to Jeff Bezos.
But the crown jewel of convenience at the cost of privacy has to be social media. We willingly share our thoughts, photos, locations, and personal information with the world. And why? For likes, comments, and the dopamine hit of